we need matters to address before we bring the jury in, okay? Okay, we ready to get back on the record? All right. Beatty.
I'll stand here. Your Honor, there are, we understand, 3 witnesses.
Let's be quiet in the gallery.
At least, but 3 that we know of that are here and would be called, it appears, by the defense today, by Mr. Elkins. One is a Roderick Johnson. The other is Angela Carter, who is the subject of, or who is mentioned, whose name is mentioned in a motion that was filed by the defense.
Well, Roderick Johnson, are you still planning on calling Mr. Johnson after the court ruling?
That's exactly what my motion is, Judge.
Well,
Your Honor, to complete the proffer of the record, we want to either tender his testimony or we can tender a recorded statement of his testimony. We do have a disc we provided in discovery, but we want that as part of the record for appeal.
I don't.
Either way, but before I release him,
Y'all wish to have the ability to cross-examine him for his proffer?
No, because I don't think the evidence is admissible, so I don't care.
Then you can tender that statement for the record, and that could be your proffer, and you can add anything else to it as an officer of the court.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Very well, Your Honor. We'll release Mr. Johnson.
Good. The other one is there was a motion that was filed on August 22nd. I don't know if the court has had a chance to see it. A so-called motion to dismiss for outrageous government conduct.
That's the one we've been putting off hearing.
Yes. Well, Your Honor, in a way it's now, we're at the point where I think the contents of it somewhat need to be addressed. The contents of the motion relate to 2 witnesses, Sandra Holboy, Holboy, and Angela Carter. And it appears that, based upon what the contents of the motion is, that the purpose for calling them would be to testify as to the bad acts of Luis Santiago, as was Roderick Johnson going to be called to talk about the prior bad acts, sex and drugs and so forth, of Sherry West. For the same and based upon the same rationale upon which the court has excluded the testimony of Roderick Johnson vis-a-vis Sherry West, we would move the court at this time to exclude the testimony that we anticipate, based on this motion, is going to be offered through Angela Carter and Sandra Holboy, which would be the same kind of evidence relating to what a bad person Luis Santiago allegedly is, what his prior bad acts are with respect to fiancés and wives and so forth, all of which are collateral to this proceeding, all of which are extrinsic specific acts that would not be admissible under Rule 608, and all of which are analogous precisely to the bases upon which the court has excluded the evidence of Roderick Johnson. And
are we at the stage, Mr. Conville, that he just wants to use these ladies as a proffer?
He wants to do that. I
don't want to do that right now. I want to. We got this jury here. That's going to be done outside the presence of the jury.
I know that, but what I'm saying is they're here and they're sitting outside, and
Your Honor, we can try to play.
Wait a minute, I'm not through yet. Your Honor, I'm not through.
One at a time.
I have been very, by golly, I think the state has a right to finish its statement. Your Honor, I am merely asking the court the following. You have 2 witnesses who are outside.
They're not outside.
The court has the authority under the rules to determine and govern the order of proof in the case. The court has discretion to do that. And the presentation of evidence, the court can make a determination in what order that proof is going to proceed. I am simply saying that it would be a better use of time if the proffer of those witnesses can be made on the record and the court's prior ruling with regard to excluding their evidence can be made and they can go, and then they can listen to the video for the next 2 hours. And that's my suggestion and recommendation. Otherwise, we're going to have to face the issue of their admissibility, their evidence, after 2 hours and 14 minutes of tape. That's all I'm saying.
All I'm saying, Your Honor, is we're 8 days into the trial, and it's time the jury got to see the true Sherry West. Play the video and stop coming with excuses to point the attention everywhere else. This is all about keeping Sherry West's videotape testimony off the evening news. And I object to the disingenuous objection by the state.
There you are, Your Honor. There you are. We've now heard it. We want the testimony of Sherry West on the evening news. It has finally come out. We are not playing the evidence for purposes of the jury. Mr. Goff wants to play it for purposes of CNN and the networks. And we've now finally have got that out. And I'm asking, Your Honor, don't allow this case to be tried in the media. This is a court of law. It should be tried to the jury. And the order of proof is governed by Your Honor and not by CNN and not by Fox News or any other media. And I don't mean to raise my voice to the court. The court knows the utmost and total respect I have for you, Your Honor, and I'm sorry if I raise my voice. But finally it has come out. We are now playing to the news media. Don't let that happen, Your Honor.
Your Honor, hold on, Mr. Goff. Mr. Convey, the state and defense agreed this exhibit would come in and it has a right, either side has a right to publish it.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, why don't we dispose of these witnesses and let them go and then play it?
The court doesn't,
that's all I'm saying.
Well, I mean, the court is certainly, cognizant that we have witnesses out here. And that's why I was asking earlier, trying to get witnesses and people excused because if they're going all the way back to Brunswick, they got 4 or 5 hours to drive and just out of common courtesy.
That's right.
But on the same token, we got to get this, at some point in time, the tape has to be played if that's what it is, it's going to be published. Now,
just saying, if you don't want to do it, that's fine.
I mean, it's, the court's not going to, I'm going to let them present the case. The court didn't interfere with the state's presentation of the case, and they want to play the tape now, then fine. But the people who are here, we're going to get through today. So, all right, let's all rise for the jury.
All rise for the jury.
I hate to do this, but I'm going to call a sidebar myself for everybody. Mr. Lockwood? Okay. For the jury, state on the record what you're publishing at this point.
Publishing States Exhibit 48.
I peed, so you might have to put something on top of it.
We'll just get another chair.
All right.
No problem.
Sorry. It must have been that IV.
Ivy, we
Goodness.
could have got you to the restroom.
I don't think I could have made it there in time.
Okay.
I think that would have just blurred it out.
Okay. Sherry, you know I'm Detective Smith, and this is Captain Tyndall, and I appreciate you coming, and I'm so sorry for your loss, and I'm sorry you have to come here and do this again, but you are here voluntarily and on your own free will to talk about what happened this morning, okay? I'm just going to get some information from you. I know we've been getting bits and pieces all morning long, but we just want to kind of go back and get some information. What's your date of birth?
8/20/71,
And your home address?
918 Union, apartment 2B,
You have a home phone number there?
912-248-3096.
Okay. Do you live there alone, Sherry, or someone lived there with you?
With my baby.
You live there with your baby. How long have you lived there?
About 5 years.
Lived there about 5 years. Prior to living at 918 Union, where did you live?
Carpenter Street.
You lived on Carpenter Street. So are you from Brunswick or somewhere else?
I've lived in Brunswick for 10 years.
Okay.
Nobody's ever bothered me until now.
10
So I
years.
moved on Union Street.
In Union Street. And what, when you say nobody's bothered you until now, do you mean till today or prior to today?
Well, I have reason to believe that there was another person involved in my first son's murder that was from here.
And who was that?
A tenant that used to live in my building that got evicted because of me, and she has some kind of malice towards me now. She's holding a grudge.
And does that person live here now or somewhere else?
I don't know. Her name is Chastity Shepherd,
Chastity Shepherd.
a blonde girl. I guess she's like a little shorter than me and thin.
And you
Two-color hair.
and you say you got her evicted, so you feel like she has malice against you.
Yeah,
You said you felt like she was involved in your first son's murder.
Mhm.
How long ago was that?
2008.
2008. Was that in Brunswick or somewhere else?
He was killed in New Jersey, but they lured him into a dark road and made him think that a boy was trying to kill a girl. So he wanted to go and protect her.
Okay.
He went there and he went and took a few friends because they said the guy was really big, and then nobody saw the knife, and he was stabbed and killed.
I'm sorry to hear that. So this is actually your second
My second
your
son,
second son lost. I'm sorry to hear that.
What was your first son's name?
Sean Glassy.
Sean, S-H-A-U-N? Glassick?
Glassy,
G-L-A-S?
S-S-E-Y.
Where was that in New Jersey?
West Effort,
Say that again.
Sorry?
West Effort,
West Effort.
WESTDEPTFORD.
How old was your son?
18.
Goodness. And that was in '08? So
Right.
that wasn't that long ago.
No, he was going to be a cop though after graduating high school.
Okay.
Was he still in high school?
Graduating, he just went to his prom, and apparently he heard that some big boy was ODing some girl, and he wanted to get her in the hospital so that she didn't die. And apparently the guy that kept doing it, that's what they told him, because he loved women. He loved his mama. He had lots of girlfriends that wanted him. I said, pick one, don't date them all. But he felt really bad for her, and he wanted to just tell the guy, don't do it. and apparently when him and his friends went there, the guy had a knife and they never seen it. But,
Did he grow up with you? Your son?
well, after the divorce in 2001, to my daughter's father, the kids went to live with dads. They had two different dads. And so in 2002, they went to live with their dad. And then I moved down here after my lawsuit went through from my car accident. So it was a nasty breakup.
You have any family here?
No. My mom has a brother here. I don't consider him family anymore.
What's his name?
Dave Rich.
Dave Rich?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't talk to him. He hangs out with some really weird people.
Okay. Does Dave live near you or somewhere else?
I didn't ask.
You don't ask?
The last time I ran into him was like at the post office, Customer Appreciation Day.
Okay.
So I haven't seen him since.
You mentioned this morning that you had been to the post office. Tell me about your morning.
All I did was make some copies for DFACS because I do collect food stamps to help out, offset costs, and they wanted paperwork back, and I just mailed it and then left.
What time did you leave home to go to the post office?
8 o'clock, I think. Maybe 10 after my baby was taking a nap from 7 to 8.
Okay. The baby took a nap from 7 to 8?
Morning nap, yeah.
Okay.
Because he wakes up 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
And then he would go to bed early at night.
Okay, and you went to the post office. How did you get to the post office?
Walk.
You walked?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And tell me about the direction you took on your way to the post office.
Same road, Alice Street. I always take the same road.
Okay. So when you leave your house,
I go out my back door.
You go out your back door, and you are on 918 Union Street, and you go out your back door and to where?
To Ellis Road.
To
Ellis Street. And
Okay.
then I make a left and walk all the way up to Gloucester.
Okay. Do you know what road that is that you make a left on?
Ellis Street.
You make a left on Ellis. Okay. And then you go up to Gloucester.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And did you take that route on your way home today or not?
I took the same route.
Okay. And what happened today when you got
Nothing
when you
until
left the
then.
post office?
Nothing until I walked to London and I saw the two kids, and the one child was walking, the tall one was walking ahead of the little one.
And when you say tall one, is that just
That's the shooter.
is that taller than you or
I
shorter
think
than
he's
you?
I think he's a little taller than me,
You think he's taller than you?
or about the same height.
Okay. And what was he wearing?
A red sweatshirt
Which red sweatshirt?
with a hood.
With a hood.
I think it had a hood.
Did he have the hood on or off?
He had the hood off because I could see his hair real well. It was thick, like this tall and curly,
Okay.
really thick eyebrows.
His hair was really curly. When you say curly, are you talking about like the texture of my hair, or was it curlier than my hair?
No, it was curlier.
Big curls?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, curls like that. 1, I guess, or 2-inch curls.
Was he a black kid, biracial, Hispanic?
He looked African American.
He looked African American. Okay.
He had full lips. I think I remember full lips. I think his nose was a little bigger, not than his lips, but about the same. It was a little bit about the same. I can't believe kids are doing this stuff today. Oh my God.
Were you able to see his pants or his shoes?
No.
No.
I was too busy looking at me and my baby. I mean, wondering what I was going to have to do next.
And what about the other person that was with him?
The little boy hid behind him. I never saw his face.
Okay. When you were approaching them initially, where was the little boy?
Hiding behind that boy, the tall boy.
When you say hiding, tell me what you mean.
Well, he was kind of walking behind him as the tall boy walked towards me.
Okay, so he was walking behind him.
I never saw his face. I know when he was far back in a distance, he had a black shirt on, now a sweatshirt, I think.
Black sweatshirt. And what happened when they approached you?
The little boy in the black shirt stayed behind the tall boy. And then he said, "Give me your money." And I said, "I don't have any." And he said, "I'm going to shoot you and your baby if you don't give me your money." I kept saying, "Why are you doing this? I just told you I don't have any." And, you know, when you have a baby, you have expenses and things like that. You know, he said, "Do you want me to kill you?" I said, "I just told you I don't have any." And I went to cover my baby. You know, that's when I walked on the side. And I wasn't sure if it was a real gun. He pulled out a gun and he shot me first.
When you said that you went to cover your baby, was there something that happened before you covered your baby or not?
I think he shot me first.
You think he shot you? And if you think you shot, where would he have shot you at that time?
At my ear.
Okay, at your ear.
Yeah.
And tell me what happened at that point.
And then, you know, I guess it might have been right before I went to, you know, protect my baby. He shot me in the leg too. He shot real fast.
Okay.
So it wasn't like time consumed,
Okay.
you know. So he shot me twice really fast. And then, and then like I walked next to my baby and put my arms over my baby. And then he just shot my baby in the face.
And where was the baby during this time?
Sleeping in the stroller.
Sleeping in the stroller. And how was the baby positioned in the stroller?
He was laying on his back.
He was laying on his back. And after he shot the baby, you tell me, I'm sorry, I know this is hard for you. After he shot the baby, could you tell me what happened?
I screamed. "Somebody please call the police." And that man, that young boy, he tried to shut me up. He tried to grab me.
He tried to grab you?
He tried to grab me.
Which one tried to grab you?
The tall one.
The tall one. And what happened?
And I kept screaming, "Somebody please call the police. Somebody please call the police, the ambulance." And then he got scared when I kept saying it and screaming it, and he ran.
Okay. And where was the little boy?
He was still hiding behind him.
He was hiding behind him?
Mm-hmm. He was really afraid.
Okay.
Or he didn't want to get involved.
Where was the little boy when the one that shot you ran? Where was he then?
He ran with the other one.
He ran with him.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I still couldn't see his face when he ran. I just saw his sweatshirt. It looked black. I think it was a sweatshirt.
And after they ran, what did you do?
I made sure they weren't coming back. And I wheeled my baby somewhere safe. I thought maybe inside that walkway was safe.
You went inside where that fence was?
So I could perform CPR.
Okay.
But the air was going in his lungs and he was still not breathing.
You said air was going in his lungs? How were you able to
chest
tell?
was like I felt his lungs inflating. His chest was, filling up with air, and just his milk was coming out sour.
Okay. The milk was sour coming out? At what point was his chest, could you see his chest filling up with air?
When I was doing CPR.
When you were doing the CPR.
And I felt his neck and I couldn't feel a pulse, but I wouldn't stop until they got there. And then one of the policemen tried to do CPR on him too, and milk kept coming out of his mouth and we kept clearing his airway.
There was a man there when I got there. Where did that man come from?
I thought he came from that yellow house with that woman, but he must have been walking a dog.
Okay.
But I thought he was with her.
Were you able to see the dog?
I think it was a black and white dog, but
White dog.
I don't know where it got off to. I have no idea.
Okay. So was that man the first person that you came in contact with after the boys ran away?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I asked him, please call the police and an ambulance because my baby's been shot. And he looked over and he couldn't believe that they shot my baby in the face, and he went and told her to go call the police. Yeah, because I guess they were afraid. They didn't know whether it was, some kind of setup where they were in danger or something, But he checked it out to make sure I was telling the truth, I guess. And so he went over and, got the woman out of her house to call the police.
And so you were on your way back from the post office, headed back to your residence?
And I'd never seen any kids on that road. I mean, it was a school day. There was a daycare center on that road, and all of them were accounted for with their parents. So.
Have you ever seen these boys before, and even in the area?
Never.
Never?
Nope. Mm-mm.
How do you know all the daycare kids are accounted for?
Well, I'm just saying, they don't usually let them run loose out there in the streets. They're usually with the parents in the van. Their vehicles, or the parents take them right in. I walk that road a lot in the morning. I thought it might be safer to walk in the morning to the post office, and,
The guy that shot you, how old do you think he was?
He couldn't have been more than 15.
No more than 15? And what about the other person that was with him?
That child couldn't have been more than 5 or 6.
He's 5 or 6 years old.
They could have been brothers.
Okay.
That's a shame.
So that other kid was much smaller than the person that shot you? You think?
I'm sorry?
You think that person that was with the person that shot you was much smaller?
Mm-hmm. He looked it. He was real short. He was very short. Unless he was a dwarf. But I don't believe he was.
And you said the 15-year-old, you said he was about as tall as you or a little taller. Well, how tall are you?
5'6".
So he would have been how tall?
He might have been about 5'7", maybe. He looked taller than me.
And you said he had thick curly hair.
Right.
And very thick eyebrows.
That's right.
Did he have any other facial hair?
No.
Did he have any glasses?
No.
Did he have any jewelry?
Yes, he did. I was attempting to grab it. I was going to grab it. I was thinking of grabbing it. Because maybe if I could grab him on the chain and grab his neck, maybe I could have got the gun away. I was thinking about doing that, but I was so afraid. Afraid that I wouldn't be able to get the gun out of his hand.
Tell me about the chain he had on.
What kind of jewelry?
It was thick, Figaro, silver, very thick silver chain.
What is Figaro?
And it hung way down here like it was, I guess, 27-inch, I think, chain.
Okay.
I'm sorry,
When
I
you say
forgot
Figaro,
that. Like a box link.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I forgot that part.
Okay.
I know it's a lot to remember. That's why we talk to you so many times, because we want to make sure that we're following you correctly and we're understanding what you're talking about.
Did it have anything on the chain, like a pendant of any kind, or anything hanging from
I didn't see
it?
it, no. It looked plain to me. It looked like a plain chain.
Okay. What hand did he hold the gun in?
His right hand. That's probably why he got me in my left leg. Plus, like, my other leg was on the other side of the stroller, so I guess that was the only way he could get to a leg.
Which side of the stroller was he on?
The left side.
He was on the left side of the stroller.
He was right next to my baby, too.
Okay.
He shot him at point-blank range.
Okay, and the baby was on his back.
His head swelled up so bad. Oh, my God.
Do you know the difference between a revolver and an semi-automatic gun? Do you know anything about guns?
Very little. My uncle was a cop, and my cousin was a prosecutor, and my other cousin was an FBI agent. They've said some things about guns.
Well, you probably watch TV, right? You see, everybody
Some
watches
movies,
TV and
I
movies
have
and stuff.
DVD movies,
Could you tell anything about the gun?
It looked like a German Luger, but very small. That's what it looked like.
Have you seen a German Luger?
Yeah, on TV.
And is a German Luger a revolver, or is that a
I don't know.
semi-automatic?
I guess it's a revolver.
Is it a cowboy-style gun or the type of gun that police carry?
It looked like it was not one the police carry. No, it was not those. Not a 9mm, not a .45. And, but
Anything
it's,
distinct about the barrel or the handle or anything that you can remember?
it was a very small gun. I mean, it was very skinny, the part where the bullet comes from. And it had a little, I guess, a scythe at the end. And that's what made me think it looked like a German Luger.
What color was it?
Black.
Black.
But it was a small German Luger, if that's what it was. An antique or something, maybe.
Did it look old or new?
It looked old,
Look old.
yeah.
What about it made you think it looked old?
It looks like a collector's item.
Okay.
I mean, I've seen pawn shops, you know, I mean, you know, they look like something that's been in somebody's family for a while.
Okay.
Unless they're making them look old these days.
Okay. Did it appear to you that it was well kept or not? You said collector's item.
It looked like it was in pretty good condition, fair condition. Yeah. So he must have came from a half-decent family. The sweatshirt looked new. I mean, the chain looked like real silver. So,
Do you remember, did the sweatshirt have anything on the, like of a logo or any kind of a design on it, or was
No.
it just a solid color?
no, it was solid red.
Okay. Do you remember any pants
I didn't look down, no.
or shoes?
There was no way I could. My baby stroller was right in front of me, so
How about tattoos?
no. His arms were covered, but no tattoos on his face. I didn't notice any.
Or earrings?
No, I couldn't tell. No, I don't remember seeing any shiny earrings or anything in his ears.
Did he ever talk to the younger boy?
No, never.
Did the younger boy ever say anything?
No, but he ran when the other one ran.
And the little boy, you said he was
He
about
was-
5 or 6.
He looked young, yes, very young.
And the only thing you can remember about him is the black sweatshirt?
That's all.
Any kind of a hairstyle or anything?
I couldn't tell if his hood was up or not. I really couldn't. He kept hiding behind the other one.
Do you think he was standing behind the other one, or was he like intentionally hiding behind him?
I think he was intentionally hiding behind him. Yep.
And at what point did he start intentionally hiding behind him?
When they started to approach me.
When they started approaching you, he started hiding behind him?
Yep, because he was walking next to him before he approached me.
Could you hear if they were talking before they approached you?
I think they were. I think they said something to each other, but the big boy didn't turn around and look at the little one. He continued to look at me.
Okay.
I thought they were going to say hello, you know, and I was prepared to say hello, you know. But nowadays you can't even say hello to anybody's kids, obviously, you know, or they kill yours.
And where did the older one, you said he pulled the gun out, where did he pull the gun from?
I guess his right pocket. I don't know whether it was his shirt pocket or his pants pocket.
Okay.
I had no idea. I mean, his shirt didn't look that bulky, so that ought to tell you how small the gun was. You know, it was no bigger than that, and it was real skinny.
When he first approached you,
That's why I thought it was a fake gun. You know, the kind that you see, you know, in those games of chance at a carnival. You know, those Wild Western type. Christ.
when he first approached you and got up on you, what happened?
Well, he tried to shoot me in the foot.
When he first
When
approached
he
you?
first approached me, yeah.
Tell me about that.
I mean, after he asked me for the money. But, I mean, the first time he tried to shoot me in my foot or something, he shot down on the ground, like a warning shot.
And was that, I know out on the scene you showed me a metal plate in the road. You said you were just past that.
Right.
Were you at that location then when that happened?
I think so, because I didn't get a chance to move after what happened until he ran.
So you say he shot down like a warning
Yeah,
shot?
a warning shot, yeah.
Okay, and that was when he first approached you? Or was that another time?
Right after.
Right after.
Right after
And
he
what
said,
happened
I want your money, or give me money, or something.
Okay.
And I looked down at the ground to see if it was a real bullet. I was looking for shells.
Okay.
And I looked to see if there was any blood coming out of my shoe, if I was hit, if it was like a real gun. But I didn't see anything coming out of the gun. He must not have had that many bullets or something, but it made a really loud noise.
Okay, and what happened after that?
Were you in the road right then?
Mhm.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you shot it in the road.
Right, he shot down on the ground.
Mhm.
And I didn't hear any casings coming out or anything.
Okay,
So he must have not had bullets in it, only 2 of them probably,
okay.
or 3 of them. I don't know how many it fits.
And after he shot down and said, "Give me the money," what happened after that?
Then he shot me here, and I still wouldn't give him any money.
Can you show me, could you use me and show me how his hand was when he shot you there?
Okay, he just, I guess, like, I don't know how he held the gun.
Okay.
Something like that. And then he just shot me here. I think, first he shot down
Okay.
at my foot. I said, I told you I don't have any money. I have a baby, I have all these expenses. And then he went and shot me there.
Okay.
And
About how,
then he went and shot me there.
okay.
And
About how, where was his hand?
He was this close.
Okay.
And then he went down and shot me in the leg.
Okay.
But I didn't see any blood. I looked at, my knee was hurting. I thought it was a cat gun, like, copper BBs, because they hurt too. And I missed it. It was way up here. But I felt pain down here, so I didn't see any blood still. And I had no idea that this was a real gun. And, I mean, even a BB gun would have still blinded my son, or it could have hurt him or something. But I thought he would have lived.
Okay.
But apparently it was a real gun.
Has there been a possibility that, have you ever seen a play gun before?
I guess. I don't remember. I have 2 brothers when they were little,
Okay.
They were made black, plastic, but
So how many shots altogether did he fire?
1, 2, 3, 4.
4 shots. 4 shots total.
But the first one seemed like nothing came out of the gun. When he shot down there my foot, I mean, things would have been different if I seen a casing come out. Christ.
When you say things would have been different if you saw a casing come out, what do you mean by that?
Well, I probably would have, gave him some change or something if I had any, But,
But at any point, did he ask for your pocketbook or anything at any point?
he said, just give me your money.
He said, "Give me your money," and that was all?
That's it.
And where was your pocketbook during that time?
Over my shoulder
Over your
still.
shoulder.
You said he tried to grab you at one point.
Yeah, he did when I screamed.
Tried to grab you how?
He tried to grab my shoulder.
Was he
I don't know
grabbing
why.
you for the purse?
I don't know. He didn't say. But I was just glad he didn't shoot the gun again, because he could have shot me in the stomach or something, and I could have died with my son right there. So it was a
Okay, so
strange gun.
yeah.
It really was a weird gun.
And your baby is, he was 13 months old?
Yes.
And he was in the stroller, you said sleeping.
Yes.
Was the stroller, was it reclined or sitting up?
It was reclined.
So it was, the back of it was reclined
Yes.
all the way?
Yeah, he was tired.
So he was all the way laying flat?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Did you put the back of the recliner, of the stroller back up?
No.
Was he strapped in?
Yes.
And what was he wearing?
He had a hat and mittens, cream color. He had a green and beige coat, because I thought it was chilly in the morning.
It was.
And blue sweatpants, white socks, and I think his shirt was it was a fleece or flannel zipper shirt, I think.
Was the baby wearing both mittens or one mitten?
He had both mittens on the last time I checked.
Did you have a diaper bag too, or just your purse?
No, I keep a diaper and wipes in my purse.
Okay, so the only thing you had was your purse and the stroller?
Right.
And that's this
the
purse?
black.
That one. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he's reclined in the stroller, and it's just, and you were wearing the red jacket that you have on now?
Yes, and black outfit.
Black pants?
Velvet. Mm-hmm.
Black pants and
Velvet and a white, a black ribbed t-shirt.
black ribbed t-shirt and black pants. And the tennis shoes, that white tennis shoes?
Right.
Okay. At what point did the baby wake up?
He didn't wake up. He died instantly. I tried to resuscitate him, but there was no way. He wouldn't, I felt for a pulse in his neck, and I didn't feel one.
Well, what I mean is, the guys come walking up, and the tall one starts talking to you, right? He says something to the effect of, give me your money, or I'm going to shoot you.
I don't even know
right?
where the bottle went.
The baby had a bottle?
Yeah.
What color was the bottle?
It was short, and it had green and yellow decorations on it. And I don't know where it went, but
Where
he was
was it?
drinking it
The baby was drinking. When was the baby drinking the bottle?
on the way home.
On the way home.
There was milk in it. I don't know where that went.
What color was it?
It was green, a
Green.
green cap with green and yellow. I guess it was sea animals or something on there.
Was it a sippy cup or a bottle?
No, it was a bottle.
Okay.
Sometimes I still gave him a bottle.
Yeah. So, even after the shot in the road, he didn't wake up?
Nope. No, he didn't. He was a sound sleeper like me, except when he wanted to wake up. He was a pretty decent baby. He was definitely different than my other two.
What was different about him?
He was quietly inquisitive. He liked to do a lot of things on his own. But I guess that's the age, too. I haven't had a baby in 20 years, so I forget a lot of things. I had all kinds of baby magazines come into the house. I even entered him in a cutekids.com photo contest. And
Did you do that on the internet or through something else?
through the internet from a neighbor's house. I was hoping he'd win. They could have put him in films, commercials or something. But,
I know we talked at the hospital, and I know that was kind of early, but they're going to I told you, they're going to do an autopsy on the baby, and they're going to bring him back.
he probably died of some kind of asphyxia, in the brain.
You think he died of
Yeah.
asphyxia? What makes you think he died of
Well, the
asphyxia?
bullet probably, broke blood vessels in his brain, and he probably couldn't get oxygen to the parts of the brain, and it might have stopped his heart. He probably died instantly.
Okay. Is there a possibility that he could have died in his sleep?
Well, if he was asleep when they shot him, so yeah, I guess so. You could say that.
Okay.
But it was from a gunshot, though. His face started to turn really purple. So to me, that's a sign of anoxia, or asphyxia.
You have a medical background, Ms. West? Do you ever
No,
been in a
just-
medical profession?
No, just oh yeah, I actually went to college for 3 years in psychology.
Okay.
So
Where'd you go to college at?
2 places actually, Stratford Career Institute in Washington D.C. and Ashworth College here in Norcross, Georgia.
Okay. Did you finish?
No, I was going through a divorce from an abusive husband, and I wrote a book, so I didn't have a chance to finish.
Okay.
I only took
Do you have
1
a book-
year.
Do you have the book out? Has the book been published?
No, I didn't want it published. I just gave the manuscripts to my daughter, and I don't know, just to kind of motivate her that we all have problems, you know? Don't think it's just you, you know?
How old is your daughter?
She just graduated nursing school.
How old is she?
Oh, 22.
She's 22?
Yeah. So,
Was she older or younger than your son that died, your older son?
younger,
Younger.
2 years younger. Yeah.
Where does she live?
She lives, she just moved to Williamstown, New Jersey. She used to live in Runnymede. Her dad and grandma just died. Her dad had liver and pancreatic cancer in 2009, died young at 46. And her grandma was old, 73 years old. I guess her heart stopped. But rather than keep the house and the bad memories, my daughter just moved to create new ones. But, you know, she's going to have another baby in May, so she's going to be pretty busy.
Do you have contact with her?
Yeah, I call her, you know, I mean, what happened was she had gotten into a little dispute with a kid at school, you know, a few years ago and dropped out of school. But me and her dad wanted her to go back. And instead of going and get her GED first, she took an entry exam test and got into Lincoln Tech. So, but when she graduated Dean's List, she still couldn't get into a doctor's office without a GED. So now she's got to go back and do that. And I was like, oh boy.
It should be pretty easy for her,
Oh,
though. You're going through that.
Yeah, that's true.
Were you able to call her this morning? Have you been able to make contact with her?
She's a home health aide. She works different hours. I haven't been able to talk to her about it yet.
Have you been able to talk to any of your family besides your mom?
My brother, Eric.
You called him or did
No,
call
he
you?
went over my mom's.
He was at your mom's.
Mm-hmm.
So you said they don't live here, or they do?
They live in New Jersey,
So you
1,000
don't have-
miles from here.
Oh, so you don't have family here?
No. Mm-mm.
Now, what about the baby? What do you call the baby? What's his name?
Antonio.
Is that what you call him? Okay. So Antonio's dad, what's his name, Lewis?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, y'all don't live together, right? He lives across the street.
Yeah, because he's got OCD and we don't always get along. But it's, you know, he loved the baby though.
What is his OCD?
Obsessive compulsive disorder.
What is he obsessive with?
Everything. And it drives me nuts.
Oh, wow.
But then sometimes my paranoia drives him nuts, so. And I mean, we have to live apart.
Has he always lived apart from you since you've been knowing him, or just a little?
Well, he stayed with a friend that lived upstairs from me, he rented a room from them, and then he lived on Reynolds Street. He lived in the Salvation Army. He stayed with me for a few weeks, but that didn't work out. I mean, he's like leaving the TV on all night and day. I'm like, you can't do this, boy. My gosh, it was $189 a month, my electric bill. I was like,
Bills of what's going up, huh?
So how long have y'all been together?
3 years. 3 years.
So were y'all weren't married though, right? Y'all just boyfriend, girlfriend,
No, he
or
didn't
what's
get
your...
a chance to get a divorce from the other one yet. He was married to someone he made a mistake with, apparently. And,
Okay.
and I wondered if I still could have kids, and I was kind of really bent out of shape over my other son's death, so I tried to have a baby when I thought he was getting sicker and dying in the hospital.
When you thought who was getting sicker and dying?
The baby's dad has hepatitis C.
Louis, okay. I know at the hospital you said that he was
Yeah.
sick.
So when he had to get a spleen out, I thought, oh my God, you know, I'm wondering, you know, am I ever going to have any more? You know, I mean, you know, lower income, and I'm heavy, and my spine's all messed up. You know, I thought I'd never be able to find somebody else. And, you know, I didn't want to give up trying, you know, in the relationship. So that's why I asked the state to help him with a place to live. You know, and
When you say you asked the state to help him, who did you ask?
the government, the governor, And the behavioral services for mental illness people with mental illness. It's a federal statute.
Okay.
It's called community-based placement if there are enough state funds.
And was he able to get that or not?
The voucher goes through the bridge fund accounts through Gateway, and then well, they weren't too happy with that.
Who was it?
Gateway wasn't too happy about it
Why?
because they didn't want to help him. They didn't even tell him that there were bridge fund accounts for that purpose. He was on the list for Shelter Plus Care, and they wouldn't even give him a place to live. So I had to go above their head, and I guess they weren't too happy about it.
And how did you go about going above their head?
I wrote to the governor, and I spoke to Anna Helmsley in the governor's office, and then she transferred my call to the behavioral services, Frank Shelp, Dr. Frank Shelp's office,
Okay.
and Tracy Gamble's office. She's his secretary.
You said he didn't know that they were funds to help him?
No, he didn't know, but I found out from the governor and Laura Ryan. But Gateway knew, and they didn't want to help him. Gateway knew what those bridge fund accounts were for.
Okay.
And so it was to help him with his what? The OCD?
His
hepatitis? What?
housing,
I know, but because of what?
because of both. He's physically and mentally ill.
Okay.
It's a federal statute, 501, Section 811 of the federal statute.
And I know earlier you said that he suffers from OCD, and his OCD works your nerves and your paranoia.
Believe me, the police really know us by first name.
And how so? How does the police know you?
Well, I've had to call them and ask them to tell them to walk off the property a couple times, you know. I mean, because he was kind of shoving sticks through my window near my air conditioner, trying to look through the blinds to see the baby and all.
When was that?
Oh, when wasn't it? It's been happening for a while, you know. But
And I know you said that he has OCD and you sometimes have paranoia. When was the last time that you, if you can remember, that you had some paranoia?
when? Goodness, when I thought he locked me out of my house or he was messing with my door locks.
Okay. You thought he locked you out?
Yeah.
Well, what kind of problems do you and Lewis have? You said when wasn't he messing with you? What kind of issues do y'all have?
Well, I just like my space when we're like not getting along very well, and he don't like space. So, you know.
You said he was trying to look at the baby.
Yeah,
Through the
by
window?
putting the blinds up, yeah. I called him a voyeur.
You called him a what?
A voyeur. Peeping through my window, you peeping Tom.
Would you hold your ear up and let Captain Tyndall look at your ear? So your hair up and she can look at your ear? A little bit.
Oh, okay. Right on the top of your ear? So he had mentioned that he has visitation with Antonio?
Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 8 to 12.
Is that,
Monday,
and who
Wednesday.
gave him those visitation times?
I gave it to him.
You gave him those times.
I didn't want to go to court because I just wanted to settle things outside court. You know, I mean, he's a dying man, for God's sakes, and if he does get his disability, I mean, I don't really, I don't want him in jail before that. I mean, he can't sign for his check or anything,
Okay.
From jail. How's he going to help the child?
Okay.
So does he give you money?
Well, he didn't get it yet. He's been waiting for a year now as a lawyer, and nobody's given him a decision.
Oh, so he doesn't get any help yet?
Not yet.
So does he give you any help with the baby? Money-wise?
If he has a side job, he'll go buy the baby wipes or something. If he does a favor for a friend and cleans their house, like a bathroom or a living room or.
Well, how do you get by?
I'm disabled. I'm on disability.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but does that cover, rent and,
It covers everything but my teeth. I have to get my dental work done. Goodness.
And so at apartment 2B, is that a room inside of a house, or is that a total apartment?
It's a small
It's
apartment,
a small apartment. Is it one bedroom or?
one bedroom.
One bedroom.
who is your landlord?
Andy Anderson. Well, his real name's Thomas Anderson, and his wife Beverly Anderson.
And do you pay that rent directly, or does it come from another type of fund? And
Well, housing assistance helps with it, and then I pay a portion too. I mail them a money order
that housing assistance, which program is that through?
through Brunswick Housing Authority.
Okay, through the housing authority, okay. And how long have you lived at 918 Union Street? I'm not sure if we asked.
4 or 5 years.
4 or 5 years you lived at that, okay.
So who is Antonio's pediatrician?
Dr. Bristol,
And
at
when
Community
was the-
Care Center.
I'm sorry, when was the last time he saw Dr. Bristol?
I think in February was his 12-month vaccines.
February, okay.
I know I'm definitely moving.
Where are you moving
I'm
to?
moving back to New Jersey
When are you gonna do that?
soon, within 30 days probably.
Okay. We would just like for you to just stay around a little bit in case we have any questions and things like that. Just to give us a little time to
Well, 30 days,
figure
because
out
I don't
what's
feel
going
safe
on.
living here, so 30 days is it.
You had mentioned about a couple of minutes ago, you said something about sometimes you have some paranoid problems, and you said you're on disability.
Right.
Um,
But I also have spine damage too.
From an accident, you said? Traffic
Two of them.
accident?
Two of them.
The paranoia that you're talking about, is that something that you've sought help for?
Dr. Martelli manages my medication,
Okay,
and my family doctor too.
okay, he's your family doctor?
No, Dr. Martelli's my psychiatrist.
Okay, but you have a family doctor too? Okay.
That's right.
And do you see them regularly?
I just had blood work done for Dr. Martelli to measure my tegretol level. Yeah, I saw him in February, I think it was, last month.
Have you ever had any problems with depression or?
No, but I had to get my wrist operated on. I had some kind of pressure on my tendon that hit two nerves, the medial and radial nerve, and I couldn't even lift with this hand at all.
Uh-huh.
No, that
How
pain
long
was
ago
so
was
bad. October
October.
was my surgery date.
Who did the surgery for you?
Dr. Sullivan, very good hand and wrist
Yeah,
surgeon.
He is.
Mhm.
He is. So have you ever had any kind of depression?
No,
So what does Dr. Martelli treat you for?
bipolar and post-traumatic stress disorder
Okay.
and borderline personality disorder.
Okay.
I'm not sure what else, but I think I said post-traumatic stress disorder.
Yeah.
How long have you been seeing Dr. Martelli?
I guess, I guess 3 years, I think. I think it was 3 years.
And before you start seeing Dr. Martelli, had something happened before you went to see him? Or did something cause you to go see him?
Well, I just found out he was a doctor close by. The other psychiatrist left town. Yeah.
Who were you seeing before Dr. Martelli?
Dr. Schoolcraft on G Street.
Dr. Schoolcraft?
Mhm.
Okay.
Oh, gosh, I can't believe this stuff happens in this town. I thought this town was safe. Yeah.
Sherry, sometimes we have to ask questions that, that might not make you very comfortable, but you have to understand we have to ask them because it's our job,
I
okay?
don't care about that. You know, you ask
Is it
what you gotta
okay?
ask, you do your job.
All right.
You know?
Did you shoot your baby?
No, I didn't shoot my baby.
Did you shoot yourself?
No.
Okay.
I'm not making it up. The kid's not going to stand there and get caught. I mean, he's not going to say, hey, yeah, I did it. You know what I mean? He was a little bastard, excuse my language. A little delinquent with probably a mama that was a crack whore. And his daddy probably wasn't even there.
So what makes you think that?
They probably took his food money and they spent it on dope. That's probably why he wanted my money. This is what this town is, full of drug addicts.
Sometimes.
Well, I see a lot of it.
Do you know any drug addicts?
I know that this town's full of them. Believe me. And I'm really pissed off, you know. I try and stay away from these people. But now they are getting too close, so I'm leaving.
Remember when I said sometimes all of them aren't bad? Sometimes even good people can do
That's
bad
bullshit.
things.
Believe me, that's bullshit. They're all bad. They all have inclinations to do bad. There has been bad since the Garden of Eden, sweetheart. Adam and Eve died because of it.
That's true.
Yeah, so
That's true.
I don't know what the hell God's going to do about it, but he better do something quick. Because I don't really want to die. I want to live on earth forever. Our earth was made to go on and on forever. You know?
And you wonder though when he's going to look down and go, I didn't mean for this to happen.
Unless the earth is
True.
getting worse and he don't want me on it, and he wants to kill all the bad people by the earth. I don't know.
You don't
Says
think
in-
God will want you on the earth?
He probably wants me in heaven.
What about
Maybe
Antonio?
that's why he let it happen. Well, he didn't want him to suffer on earth either, I guess. Don't you remember in Noah's day, he's flooded all the earth and killed all the bad people?
I remember he told Noah to build the ark
Mm-hmm.
for two of
Took
every kind of
100
animal.
years. That was a century, I think. Yeah, and only his family lived. Well, maybe my family's probably going, well, I can't say they're the only ones going to die. I mean, there's other dead people in the cemetery. So.
Everybody's going to die.
But, you know, I don't
That's the
know.
only thing you can be sure of, right?
Why do you
Everybody
think,
will.
Why do you think God would have spared
You know
your
what's
life?
really strange, though? What's real, no, I don't mean to interrupt you, but what's really strange is that the kid looked like he was in good condition. He didn't look like he was in rags. You know, I don't know whether he made a habit of stealing or whether he did have good parents, and they just didn't give him anything.
A lot of times that happens. You know,
That's
you
a
can
damn
raise,
shame, man.
raise and train the best kids, and they go out and do the total opposite. So a lot of times it's really not the family's fault. You know, your kid, you raised him right. You know,
Yeah.
I'm sure you did. Your oldest son, what was his name?
Sean.
Sean. Yeah. So sometimes kids just end up at the wrong place at the wrong time, getting involved in the wrong stuff.
Well, he had a motive, and it was for money. Money is the root of all evil.
Right.
Jesus. You know, well, I was the wrong one to ask it from. Evidently, he didn't get nothing. So,
And so like Captain Tindall said, these times when we have cases like this and we try to keep up with what's going on and we have to ask you very uncomfortable
I
questions.
understand.
I explained that to you as well at the hospital when I did
Yeah,
that,
right,
that
right.
kit and everything. And so this is why we have to do these things.
I understand.
Because we try to put ourselves at that position at that time when it happened, and we try to go back and
I'm
retrace the
surprised that he
steps.
was awake at that hour. Kids usually don't wake up that early.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what's really strange. Unless it was premeditated. Somebody must have knew I walked that road a lot. You know, my baby's
There's a lot of
dad.
people out at that time of the morning.
Well, not always. I walk that road often, you know, to go shopping and things.
I was going to ask you that. How often do you go out? Because it's a pretty
Well,
It's a
if I,
nice-
you know,
Nice way to go.
I know there's a lot of houses, but I guess people work, they're not always home, or they don't want to get involved, you know?
Yeah, that's a sad thing too. We deal with that a lot, believe me.
Well, I could
People-
understand that they just are afraid, you know, that somebody will come back and get them.
Well, sometimes, but sometimes people act like they just don't, they care only about themselves, and they don't want to get in anybody else's business. And that's sad.
Yeah.
But do you go out like every day,
No, I don't.
just periodically, or?
Just like 2 or 3 times a month, like,
Oh,
you know,
just
I
2 or
go
3
to the
times a
dollar
month.
store. I walk all the way there to the dollar store.
Does Lewis ever take the baby out and walk him, or?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sometimes he'll take him for walks. He'll ask me if he could take him for a walk. And sometimes he'll take him for a walk. And sometimes he'll go to the store for me, so I don't have to walk because of my spine. I have 4 bad spinal discs, 2 in my neck and 2 in my back from the last 2 accidents I was in.
Mm. And it's a long way to go to a store from where you live. So you don't have a car, right? Does Lewis?
We had a car, but the repairs, it was old. I mean, it cost so much to repair, I couldn't keep it.
Does Lewis have a car?
He don't have a license. He messed up one day with his ex and got caught driving drunk.
So does he just bum a ride?
Yeah, pretty much.
You don't have a cell phone, right?
It's at home. I walked out and forgot it.
Okay. Does Lewis have one?
Mm-hmm.
What's Lewis's number?
912-248-5165.
Okay, and what's yours?
912-248-3096.
Are they both with the same carrier?
Mm-hmm.
Verizon or Alltel or
Assurance Wireless.
Assurance?
Mm-hmm.
And when you left this morning and you walked down to the post office, when you left your house, did you go anywhere other than the post office?
No, I went up the ramp though because, I mean, rather than pull the stroller up the steps.
Yeah.
And I pressed the button on the, the handicap button on the door so it would open automatically.
Yeah.
No, I didn't go anywhere else.
Didn't stop at any of the stores?